In today's session of Divorce Court, when Brittany Coleman married Thomas, she says they were two teenagers in love, or so she thought.
You know what love is?
Nope.
Oh. I'm glad you answered that honestly. You're probably more like in lust. You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
He should have thought of that before he married me.
But he says it was her mother that made him lose that loving feeling.
I would ask my mom to call and tell me what he's doing to
So
him.
you wanted your mother to be your spy?
Right.
Mr. Coleman is accusing you of butting into his marriage?
They have no business being married. I don't trust him because he has lied to me in the past, and he had put my daughter through enough already.
Her mom would track me down.
No.
Her mother would track you down?
Yeah.
I did butt into it, and it needed to be butted into.
You can take her out.
You think I'm disrespectful? You don't know what he put us through.
Today, Thomas Coleman squares off with Brittany Coleman and her mother in divorce court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Brittany Coleman versus Thomas Coleman. Two children I have before me today, right? After 11 months of separation, 14 months of marriage, someone's ready to file for divorce. Ms. Coleman, I understand it's you.
Yes.
Why?
I want a divorce because Thomas left me when I needed him the most. I was taking care of my uncle who had a terminal disease, and he volunteered to help me take care of him. And after a month of helping me, he decided that he wanted to divorce and that he wanted to leave.
And he left you at that time?
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you leave her?
Because we're having some problems, and we both got married too young, and
You can say that again.
well, we did, and
Speaking of too young, how old are you? Because you look
19.
like my 15-year-old.
I'm 19.
19, and you?
18.
18. Just out of high school?
Yes, ma'am.
And you just out of high school too?
Yes, ma'am.
What made you think that you were ready to be married?
I was in love with her, so I just wanted to get married.
You know what love is?
Nope.
Oh. I'm glad you answered that honestly. You're probably more like in lust. You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
So you decided to get married.
Yes.
And then you found out marriage wasn't all you thought it was?
Yeah, somewhat, to a point. I mean, I wanted to be in a different position before I was married. I wanted to have like a steadier job and finish my education before I would be able to support a wife or...
He should have thought of that before he married me. And I
Well,
think
you took the words out of my mouth. You should have thought of that before.
Yeah, I did. You know, you're
But
right.
you realized, when did you realize this?
I don't know exactly when. I'd probably say a month or two before we separated.
A month or two before you separated,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
realized, I don't really want to be married. I want to go back to school, complete my education, and get a good job first before I get married.
Yes.
he was seeing another woman.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it is, Thomas.
No, that's not true.
Excuse me, who are you?
I am Brittany's mother, Your Honor. My name is Elizabeth Greener.
I don't believe I asked you to step forward. I just asked you your name. Go
My name
back.
is Elizabeth Greener.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All I want to say to you is you're a witness, right?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
Would you please wait until I call you to be a witness?
Yes, I will.
Don't talk from your seat, all right? Now, what were you saying?
I was not cheating on her with anyone at all.
So what makes her think that you were cheating on her?
I was at a colleague's house one night, and her mom got the wrong idea about me being over there. And
That is not true, Your Honor.
You know what? No.
Who was that speaking out?
It was me because he is being totally dishonest, and I don't appreciate
Excuse me,
it.
Mrs.
Greener.
What's your name?
My name is Mrs. Greener.
Now, I'm going to call you forward this time, but it's for this reason. Step forward. Now, Mr. Coleman is accusing you of butting into his marriage and butting into his relationship and disrespecting him. And if this is any example of it, I would have to agree with it.
Well, maybe you
No, you
should
need to
because
be
I
quiet.
did butt into it, and it needed to be butted
You
into.
can take her out.
You think I'm disrespectful? You don't know what he put us through.
That's okay. You can leave.
Your Honor, This is a 21-year-old woman. He was 18 and my brother was 17 or 18 at the time. She come over to the house at like 12 o'clock at night.
That's your mother told you that?
My brother also told me that, and Thomas has admitted to that also.
And this 21-year-old would come over to your house?
No, ma'am. It was my mother's house. And why would a 21-year-old woman come over to two little teenager boys' house and want to drink beer with them?
You were drinking beer with the 21-year-old?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
It was something to do at the time.
Who was this lady?
Her name was Lisa.
How did she get to your mother-in-law's house?
She knew me and Casey from...
I have a question for you. Why would your mother allow her to come over and drink beer with your 17-year-old brother and your 19-year-old husband? It was her house, and she seems to try to control my courtroom. Why she couldn't control her house?
She wasn't aware of it, and when my father woke up and saw her in the bedroom with him, he asked her to leave, and she was never returned to the house.
So a 21-year-old came to your house?
Yes, ma'am.
Was in the bedroom with your brother and your husband?
Yes, ma'am.
And no one was aware of it?
It was
What,
like
were they dead?
It was 12 o'clock at night, and their bedroom is at one end of the house, and my mom's is at the other end. And when they woke up and saw that, something was done about it, and she was never at the house again.
How did she get into your bedroom?
It wasn't my room, it was her brother's room.
How did she get in there?
She just walked in because he invited her in.
Who opened the door and let her in?
Casey, her brother.
So what were the three of you doing in there?
Drinking beer.
Just drinking beer at 12 o'clock at night?
Yeah,
When he
I
had
was.
school
And
the
then
next
after you
morning,
drank the beer, what'd you do?
I felt drunk, so I got up and I went to the bathroom, and then her dad had come in to tell her to leave.
Did you think that was a little irresponsible?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
disrespectful of her mother's house?
Absolutely.
he would disappear. He said this was total chaos this whole week because I asked my mom to call me because I don't believe a word that he said. He's lied to me so much. I would ask my mom to call and tell me what he's doing because I would talk to him around 11 o'clock when he got off work, and he'd say, I have to go to bed, I'm tired, I have
Why
school
would you
tomorrow.
ask your mother to call you and tell you what your husband was doing?
Because I don't trust him. I did not trust him.
So you wanted your mother to be your spy?
Right.
And she did it?
Yes, ma'am. How else was I going to know what he was doing?
I thought you were the teenager. Your mother's acting like the teenager, too. If she did that, why would she spy on you?
She's just supposed to let my husband cheat on me and not even let me know about it, supposedly? Cheat on me?
No, I don't think so. But she should just ask him to leave her house if he was going to disrespect her house, but not call you and give you the 411 on what's going on.
When divorce court returns, Thomas testifies about the night Brittany's mom came looking for him.
She just shows up in the front yard and starts trying to beat on me and stuff, and she's like...
Her mother showed up at the front yard of a friend's house and started beating on you? As though you were her child?
Yeah.
And what was she saying?
I really didn't listen to what she was saying. I was...
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce court is back in the case of Brittany Coleman, who says she had to have her mom act as a spy in order to keep tabs on her husband, Thomas.
Let me tell you, my town,
Because her mom would track me down. That's
No.
how.
Her mother would track you down.
Yeah, I went to one of my friend's house. I shouldn't say a friend.
Now
but
she
an
plays
acquaintance.
detective, too.
Oh, yeah. It was all
It's
around.
really not funny. I mean, your mother is calling you and telling you what he's doing, and then she's tracking you down. What do you mean by track you down?
Well, I went with her brother one night to one of our friends' house.
Female, I take it.
No, it was a male.
Well, why don't you tell him what kind of friends
No,
those
he's
were,
going to tell
Thomas?
me
Oh, I
what
will.
I asked him.
She thinks...
What do you
she
mean
says
by
that-
tracking you down?
Okay, she came, she found out somehow, I don't know, where I was at this time of night or something, which I was an adult at the time. I don't need her mom, coming to collect me. But she, just shows up in the front yard and starts trying to beat on me and stuff, and she's like...
Her mother showed up at the front yard of a friend's house and started beating on you? As though you were her child?
Yeah.
And what was she saying?
I really didn't listen to what she was saying. I was...
Your
What, was she
Honor,
trying to make you leave the place and come home?
She did make me leave and
These were convicted felons. These people, I have a small town. I do not want to be associated with people like that.
But you weren't associated.
He's
he
my
was
husband.
over there.
If he's my husband, I don't even want my husband to go over there. These are not choice
Let me
people to hang around
explain something
with.
to you, Mrs. Coleman, while you're still only 18. You can't decide where other people go, even if you disagree. If he wants to hang out with convicted felons, that's a choice that he can make. It's his life.
Right.
If you choose not to, then that's the choice you make. I don't care if he is your husband. He's not your child. You tell your children what friends to choose and where they go and who they hang out with. Not your husband, not your wife. He should have enough sense to make a good choice of friends. But if he doesn't, you can't control him. And your mother going to get him doesn't help the situation. This marriage could never work under those circumstances.
That is why we chose to move, because we thought that it would get my mom out of our life and we could work on it together. And as soon as that happened, when I was taking care of my uncle who was dying, you don't know how stressful that is mentally and physically.
Yes, I do.
And then he left, yes. And he took the pocket knife that my uncle gave me.
Gave us, but, you know.
That has sentimental value. My grandma, my mom's mom, gave my uncle that knife, and then he gave it to me on his deathbed.
And Mr. Coleman took it?
Yes.
No.
You want to give her a Kleenex? No, I understand how hurting it can be that you've married someone at 18 and 19, you're in love, you're full of romance, you think it's going to work out, you move, you're going to help someone, which is a very compassionate thing, only to find out that your husband is playing around on you. I can understand how you feel. What about the pocket knife from her uncle?
The pocket knife her uncle gave to us when he was dying.
You weren't there.
I was there.
So how did he give it to you?
He was dying and he gave it to us. He said he wanted us to have it.
What did he say?
He said, I want you guys to have this knife, and he gave it to me.
So the two of you, both of you can't use it at the same time.
Well, I know, but it's sentimental value. Or
So
I
it's
guess,
sentimental to you, and it's
Well-
sentimental to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Her more than me, I would guess.
A pocket knife.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to give her back her uncle's pocket knife?
Why
You
wouldn't
don't
I?
like her family. They in your business.
Why wouldn't I want to give her back
Right.
the pocket knife?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean,
I think he just did it to spite me. He also had a car. His grandma sent him some money, and he bought a car for $5,000. And when we separated, he sold the car for $500. He was not in need of any money. He just was trying to spite me and upset me, and he did not want me to have that car.
no, I
You
was,
sold a car for $500
Yeah,
worth
it's because-
$5,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Come on, I thought you said you wanted to get...
I did not buy the car for $5,000 in the first place. I used like half of that money, and it wasn't like I'd sold the car just to spite her.
Ask Mrs. Miss Green. See if Miss Green thinks that she can come back into the courtroom and respect the court, and I'll allow her to talk.
You ready to answer the judge's question? Okay. Come on down.
Step forward, Miss Green. Outside of your presence, when you were outside, Mr. Coleman alleges that part of the reason for this marriage breaking down is you, that you were always butting in, spying on him, that you even came to look for him in the middle of the night over to someone else's house, dragged him out and beat him up. Did you do that?
No, ma'am, I did not.
You want to tell me something about that?
I did get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go to a home where I assumed he was at, because the people at this home are not reputable. My daughter was taking care of my uncle, who was very sick. I did not need to go and get him out of jail or any other kind of trouble that he had gotten into. He did not have any business over there.
So it was 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
He wasn't in jail?
No, he wasn't.
Did you know where he was?
Yes, ma'am.
How did you know?
I just knew, because I had asked him prior to moving into my home not to associate with these people.
So that was a condition of him staying at your house,
Yes,
was not
ma'am.
to associate with certain people?
That is correct.
And he told you he was going over to their house?
No, he didn't tell me.
So how did you know where he was at 3 o'clock in the morning?
I didn't know any other place he could be. I just took a chance on driving over there.
What'd you do, get up out your bed to see if he was in the bed?
Yes, ma'am.
Why'd you do that?
Because I wanted to, because I don't trust him, because he has lied to me in the past, and he had put my daughter through enough already.
And you really thought that you can dictate to this man where he's supposed to be at 3 o'clock in the morning?
No, ma'am, I didn't. What I thought would happen is exactly what did happen. The reason why we are here today, because they have no business being married.
So you were trying to keep their marriage together. That's why you did it.
I don't know if I was trying to keep it together or bring it to a head so that it could be resolved in the fashion that it is right now.
What, you were trying to catch him in some act so you could go back and tell your daughter and have verification that he was cheating and then she would leave him?
Possibly, yes, because I don't think she needs to be with him if he's going to act like that. I would rather the marriage be over so they can both finish growing up and get on with their lives.
You probably didn't like this marriage from the beginning, did you?
No, ma'am, I did not.
All right. Anything else would you like to tell me?
No, ma'am.
Okay. You may be seated.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict and an update on the case of Brittany Brown versus Adam Brown.
I was tricked into marrying him.
You were in love with the idea of being married, having a baby, and by then you had had sex with him, so your body was feeling pretty good.
Divorce court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce court is back in the case of Thomas Coleman, who says his nosy mother-in-law is the reason he's divorcing his wife, Brittany.
Anything else you want to tell me? Something about the pocket knife. I got that. And you never told me why you were keeping that pocket knife, Mr. Coleman.
I just had taken it with me, not really any reason, not to spite her or anything like she thinks, but...
Give that knife to Mrs. Coleman. Now, what about the necklace?
The necklace was mine. It was my father's, like, in the first place, and I put it around her neck, and I guess I let her.
Now, wait a minute. I've raised my voice, and I'm a little harsh sometimes, but you still can speak up.
I put it around her neck, and I led her to assume that it was hers, and after we separated, I took it back because it was my father's in the first place.
I like the way you said that. It was my father's in the first place, and I put it around her neck and led her to assume that it was hers.
Just like the pocket.
Come off of it. Did you give her the necklace?
Yeah, basically.
That's the little phrase, led her to assume it was hers.
Well, I wasn't like, hey, Brittany, here's a necklace. I just, like, put it on her neck, you know? It was unspoken.
Where's the necklace?
He has it. It was a gift. You don't give something to somebody and then take it back because you're mad at them. That doesn't make sense.
Well, you shouldn't.
I didn't
but
take it back because
I
I was mad at her. I took it back because it was my father's, and I thought that I could put it to better use.
It was your father's necklace, so it's a man's necklace?
Yeah.
And you were allowing her to wear it when you were in love with her?
Yes.
Now that the love is gone, you don't want her to wear your necklace?
Yeah.
So what do you intend to do with it?
Wear it myself or put it in my drawer.
Well, I guess since you all are not, I don't know, your father's necklace, your uncle's pocket knife, might as well be a fair exchange. I'm going to award the necklace to Mr. Coleman and the pocket knife to Mrs. Coleman. That's the order of the court.
When divorce court returns, an update on the case of Brittany Brown versus Adam Brown.
I caught him kissing a girl in our front yard.
It was my brother's girlfriend, and I was just outside.
Your brother's girlfriend? Oh, my goodness.
Closed captioning for divorce court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in divorce court. Brittany Brown said marrying her husband Adam was the biggest mistake she ever made because he wasted their money.
I was tricked into marrying him.
You were in love with the idea of being married, putting on a white wedding gown, going down the aisle, having a baby, and by then you had had sex with him, so your body was feeling pretty good. Now that's what got you married.
He spent $30 on a rock. He brings home an $80 fish. They eat all the $60 fish.
But she said after she caught him cheating, that was the final straw.
I caught him kissing a girl in our front yard.
Who was this, kissing cousin?
It was my brother's girlfriend, and I was just outside.
Your brother's girlfriend? Oh, my goodness.
How could someone stay married to a man like that?
Brittany brought Adam to court because she wanted him to pay child support for their daughter. The judge ordered Adam to pay $400 a month. Since they appeared on divorce court, Adam has made a greater effort to spend more time with his daughter. Brittany said she enjoyed her experience in court and now wants to pursue a career in the field of law.
Well, there's just a lot of drama in the courtroom, and for somebody that I still have feelings for, it's kind of hard to see her go through stuff like that. And me, myself, I can't really handle it either.
The judge's decision is okay. I'm just glad that it's over with and we can go on with our lives.
I still feel the same I've always felt about her. I love her to death and everything, but we can't be married because it just wouldn't work.